Hello, hello. Today we will be reviewing the Block Wars Origins 26 teams. It has been a while, but kind of expected when a lot of events went on break because of Christmas and all. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe even subscribe. But yeah, let's get into it. First off, we have Team EEPY with Zurufo, Cyberchamp, Colossum, Marcus's MC, and Mystic Sins. Now, this is a kind of interesting team because this team can absolutely dominate with like the right game order and stuff. I mean, it's definitely very scary. First off, we have Cal, who's just very good at everything. Doesn't matter what. I can't even say if he has like a super duper strong game. He's just good at literally everything. And then we have Cyber, who did surprisingly well last event. He got 31st, which is pretty impressive. And he did quite well in Blitz Hunt. And then we have Zoo, who's been doing like pretty decent. He hasn't had like a super duper low performance. He's had a lot of just like decent all round performances, which is like very nice. Then we have Mystic, who's currently back to back finales. So maybe another finale? Who knows? Don't look at the thumbnail. And then we have Marcus, who is currently under the washed allegations because he has not placed top 10 in a while. Well, it's a while, but actually, yeah, it does feel like a while. Because his last top 10 was on Team Go, which was around 9. And he's placed 19th back to back, which is definitely a far cry from what he can do. And he definitely, I think Kel can definitely bring him up. I don't know about like the last few events. He has had like strong duo partners like Sam on Team Crime, and then he had Ant and Carter on Team Hex. Although there were like some issues with those teams, like Carter disconnecting and Team Crime being more like not as serious. But anyway, I really think this is like a good all around like spleef team, and maybe Blitz Hunt. Blitz Hunt is like a bit RNG because the rooms can easily screw you over. But otherwise, I think this is like a very solid rounded team, especially if what do you call it? If the Marcus gets top 10 and Zoo gets like top 15. That would make this team extremely good. But yeah. Next up, we have Team Meme with No Name, Mr. Cat, Ainston, Celestial Rain, and John Dubuck. Now, this team is very interesting because as far as placements go, this team can be a very like wild card team. Amston has very rarely gone top 10 in Origins. He's gotten a bunch in CC, but otherwise he does not get top 10 that much in Origins. And he is still like pretty decent in terms of games, especially more in like the movement related games. And then we have Misty, who is also another person who does not get top 10 like too often in Origins. However, they can do like very well sometimes, as we've seen with like Team Plush and Team WSMG. Now, then we have John Dubuck, who has gone first as a team twice and then last once. So if this keeps up, that means he's either gonna get first, his team's gonna get first this event, or they're gonna get last again. Let's just hope it's the latter. And then we have No Name, and No Name did pretty decent last event. He usually places around last, but he actually didn't get last event he played in, which is actually pretty good. And obviously not all the time in Block Wars when he doesn't get last, he makes finale, but sometimes he does. And then we have Dakota, who's like had like very like okay-ish placements. Not quite. Actually, no, not finale like too many times, but her last event was very well. Now, as far as games this team can do like well in, construction is a very, very good game for this team. Depending on like because Misty and Aimston are both good, but Misty sometimes like has like not the best performances. But I definitely think this team is a very construction team and kind of like team game oriented games, maybe even extraction, if you will. But this is like a pretty like decent, maybe even underrated team. But yeah. Next up, we have Team Yeehaw with Cosmelon, Z Andiria, O Garfield, Shadow Drago, and Captain Flavy. Now, this sees the return of Cosmelon, who has not played since Origins 18, which is a while ago, like quite a while ago. So he definitely might be like a little bit rusty in terms of the event. And then we have Ogar, who's been absolutely killing it lately. His last three events have all been top 10, which is very good. He got third on Team, not fair, Team Magic, and then he got like eighth on Team Fluid, and then he got like, I think he got first on Team Aqua. So he's been doing very well. And Move has been benched for a while, but now we see a new movement game on the rise, being Trailblazers. So now he has another good game. So obviously Move is removed, but they just replaced it with a different movement game for Ogar. And speaking of movement, we have Shadow, who is also another like very good movement player. And currently, and yes, he holds the record for like amount of finals in a row. Will that stay with Turf Wars? I don't know, but he definitely is another like movement related player. Then we have Flamey, who from the two performances they've had, they've done like pretty well. Like obviously 29th for first event. Like that's not the worst. And then they got like an 18th on Team Scooby, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that was a team like I don't think most predicted to do well. So that's also very good. And then we have Z, who hasn't had like super duper good performances, but not like too bad. They've all been like pretty like decent, and she can definitely pull her weight. Now, I think this is a very movement related team. Trailblazers, this will be this team's best friend. But I can also see like Race, but they're definitely gonna struggle a bit in some of the other games. But yeah, I think this is like a pretty like solid team. Otherwise, next up we have Team Dunk with Dynamite Donut, SMK, Rice Krispies, Kaizo, and newcomer Jackass. Now, Jackass is very, very surprising to see. I say that, but any newcomer for me is surprising. So at this point, so doesn't really matter. As far as how good Jack will be, it's fluctuating because he has definitely done well in events he's played in the past, like Mayhem, but he's like not too like super duper strong. At least not like top 10, but top half. I definitely think is a very like possible thing for him. And then we have SMK, who did very well last event, who got third, which is pretty impressive. And he's been on like a better streak of placements lately for his last few events. So that might help him with this team. And he knows them pretty well as well. So that also helps. And then we have Donut, who's just Donut. Very good at race because he knows the maps. But he's also like not that bad either. Very good at like extraction as well. And then we have Christy, who's had very fluctuating performances. They've been very up and down. Sometimes she does like very well, other times she doesn't do as well. But she can definitely be like another like threatening player at times. And then we have Kaizo, who lately hasn't been getting like too many good placements. But he's definitely still someone to watch out for. He can definitely be a very like sneaky good player. As far as games this team will do good in, extraction, heavy extraction, good team. Maybe just even race, possibly depending on like how well they know the map, which is not too well, but it's not like too bad. But yeah, this is like kind of like a scary team. This is definitely one of the teams that should be watched out for because they can definitely like sneak up on you and probably perform very well. But who knows? Next up, we have Team Arcane with newcomer DGC, Tapioca, Cloud, Carter, and Cat Kun. Now, this team, everyone has kind of had a poor last event or a bad like last event. Cloud got 22nd. Carter had internet issues. Tay almost got last, and Kat did. Her team got last. So this team definitely wants redemption from all their last events. They all not do like too well, so they're definitely gonna be looking to redeem those past performances. Now Carter came off of first from Minecraft Mayhem, and he did face reveal in that stream. So maybe if he does face cam, he will do extremely well. But either way, he's still a very good PvPer and just good player in general. So I expect him to do decent either way. And then we have Cloud. As like I said, very shocking performance last event. So I'm hoping he can still do very well. All of the games he did not do quite well in, except for race for some reason. Although that's a pretty like individual game. So hopefully he'll do better this time. Then we have DGC. Now, as far as I know from like events he's been in, he's been like okay, like not like too strong. Although the two times I remember him playing in Mayhem, he's made finale, so maybe he'll make finale in Block Wars. Who knows? But it's definitely a possibility. And then we have Tay, who unfortunately, if you look at statistics, is going down in placements, which is not what you like to see. I definitely can see her doing way better with this team because this team, honestly, she's had some like unfortunate performances and like some pretty like decent teams. But I definitely think this team might be able to bring something better out, especially with Cloud and Kara together. And then we have Kat, whose team did not do very well last event. However, in her first event, she did very well, 22nd. Which, if she's able to replicate that, that'd be very good. Now, as far as games this team is good at, Battle is looking like a very strong game for them. PvP in general, I think this is just like way like more PvP team. And yeah, they're definitely gonna be seeking out for redemption. Next up, we have Team Rocket with Lizard, Sleepy the Frog, Master Garf, Jackleton, and Dong Fortnite. Now, this team sees the return of two players, Liz, who hasn't played since Origins 13, and then Sleepy, who hasn't played since Origins 19, or no, 17. Obviously, Liz hasn't, I don't know how much Minecraft he's played, other than the PB he played in, which he did make finale in. So maybe him not playing Minecraft too much, or in events in general, means he makes finale. Who knows? That could be a thing. And then we have Sleepy as well, who has very few performances, only one in fact. So I don't know how well they'll do. Then we have Sam, who did very well last event, sixth. Almost top 5. Didn't quite get there, but he still did pretty well. Especially in PvP games like Battle and Extraction. And which Battle he doesn't always do super well in, but this time he did well for once. And then we have Garf, who unfortunately had to miss last event because of internet problems, I believe. But other than that, the event before, he did like pretty well. I don't remember if he got top 10, but I think he almost did on Team Aloha, which is pretty good. And then we have Jackleton, who feels like they haven't played in a while. He hasn't like played in a while. I know it's only Origins 20, which is actually a while ago, so never mind. But yeah, he did like pretty decent in those few events, and he hasn't had like a big, like super big performance. They've been all like just generally average. I'm sure he can pull something up. Now, as far as games this team's good in, definitely think Trailblazers will be up there for them. There's definitely a more like movement heavy team, or just like pure movement. Although race will be definitely harder for them because they have two people who have like not really played the map. Obviously, watching can help, but just playing the map helps like so much. And yeah, I also think construction could be like a decent game for them. I know Sam is not the best at construction most of the time, but I definitely think this team can be mechanically good at construction. I feel like they have very good teamwork and just like block placing in general, which also kind of goes with order up. But yeah, definitely like a very hit or miss team. Next up, we have Team YIPPEE with Space Brownies, Lantastic, Epic FH, Masky, and Not Souls. Now, Epic went off last event. He went absolutely crazy just overall. Even Extraction, especially. A lot of the PvP games last event, he just absolutely demolished for some reason. Do I know why? No. He even says in Extraction that he plays Genshin. So, he just went crazy. I have nothing else to say. It was just cracked. He's usually more good towards the movement games, but he's still not that bad at PvP, which clearly shows from last event. Anyway, we have Masky, who's been heavily improved, or not like heavily. Well, you could say that, but definitely improving event by event. They've gone from like 20th to like 16th to 14th to 12th. Not quite top 10, but very close. Masky has been very close to top 10, and I definitely think they can break into it very soon. Then we have Lan, who did very well last event. I think that was Team Curse, unless no, Jolly. I don't actually remember how he did on Jolly. But the event before that, he did like very well. Like around like 24th, I think. But he's definitely popping off. And then we have Space, who is definitely someone you do not want to underestimate. They recently won Mania too, and they actually did pretty well here. So let's see if they can keep that momentum going and keep that like Mania energy over here. We have Jack, who's been having like varying placements, although they're all around like the same like area of like around like 25th. But he has shown he can get top half, and this could be a potential team where he can get top 10. Now, as far as games this team is good at, definitely think they're a little bit more slightly oriented towards like the movement games, but also sort of the team games. As far as PvP goes, it could go either way, especially with Epic probably leading the team. But I think this can be like a shockingly all around team. And it's actually like pretty strong. But and last but not least, we have Team Burr with Nutcrackers, Heel Pull Halo, Toph, Standard 05, and Plants Kid. A wonderful team to end this off. We have a very like interesting team to say. First up, we have Nair, who's just very good at everything, mainly PvP though. Super well at PvP, but not too bad at everything else. Pretty good, decent. Uh, and then we have Toph, who is also another very good player. Now, I don't. He did very well in his last event. Now, his team didn't do as good as I expected, but him himself did very well. And he's definitely going to want to keep up that momentum. Then we have Nat, who subbed in last event and was not meant to play. But even with that, she still did very well, even though her team sadly got third. But even after that, her team still very well. And she did quite decent as well. And then we have Grace, who, despite her team getting last, she still managed to not get bottom 10 by one placement, which is actually pretty impressive, even through all the struggles that team kind of had. But yeah. And then we have Plants. No, Plants might have came last his last event, but we can pray he doesn't get last next event. That's all I'm gonna say. Plants Kid is Plants Kid. As far as games this team will do good in, I'm just really not too sure. I definitely think they're more PvP oriented, but I could be wrong. They don't seem like a movement team to me, not like too much, but hey, who knows? And then they also seem like they could be like a pretty decent team as well. So I'm really not too sure, as this is really the only team with two S tiers on the team, which really shakes this up. So this is a very interesting team to leave it off with. And yeah. And that is it for this Block Wars Origins 26 teams review. This event is definitely a pretty interesting one with all the teams, and I definitely think this could be a very like wild event. I honestly have no idea who could win. But if you did make it this far, thank you for watching all the way through. That's very nice. And I will probably next week make a PB team's review because I haven't done that in a while, and I probably have time. Although I probably don't know when I'll upload next otherwise. But other than that, bye bye.